Hello, and welcome to a pre-IBC panel discussion on Android TV and CBS, Common Broadcast Stack. Can you imagine? IBC is only 3 days away now, and we're of course all excited to be in Amsterdam in a bit. But today we still want to equip you with the essential insights on Android TV and CBS that you may need for your discussions in Amsterdam. My name is Andy Waltenspiel, and I'm excited to moderate this panel today. We have a fantastic lineup. You'll see them in a second. A few words about me. In my day job, I'm advising and challenging thought leaders and innovators of our industry to connect the dots on go-to-market strategy, content licensing, and other stuff. A few quick words on housekeeping before we start. We have a Q&A at the end, and you can send us your question at any time using the Q&A widget here in the Bright Talk platform. And of course, this is being recorded, and you'll get the link to the recording in a few days, so you can share it with your friends and colleagues. Let's get started. As I said, really cool lineup of speakers here, high caliber on this panel today. So let me introduce them briefly to you. Let's bring them all on. We have first here, Pedro Neto, Head of TV Devices Product Management at Vodafone Group. Hola, Pedro.
Hola, Andy.
Hi there. He recently launched Vodafone's first Android TV project, so new to the club, but I think you're going to stay for a bit. Then we have Jon Espen Nøgaard. He's the CTO of Alente Nordic, a veteran in Android TV and CBS, if I might say, and also one of the first to launch Google TV. Hello, Jon.
Hey, Andy. Nice to be here together with you today.
Great to have you. And we got Melvin Saldana, Director of Technology, OSN, also with quite some experience with Android TV and at CBS. Hi. Hello.
Hello, Andy. Hello, Andy. Thank you
And
for
with
having me at the show. It's
fantastic to have you. And you even brought the live Android TV picture in the background, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. And then we have one of the companies that made all this possible, Milton Mukhopadhyay, Milton M, that's maybe easier. He is Partner Engineering Solutions Consultant at Google, that small Silicon Valley company that doesn't need much introduction, I think. Hi, Milton.
Hi, Andy. It's great to be here.
Great to have you. And last but not least, we have Tarun Joshi. He is GM and Head of Android TV practice at Tata Elxsi, who works with several Tier 1 operators to integrate and deploy Android TV.
Hello, Andy. Hello, and namaste, Andy. Looking forward to the panel discussion.
Yes, will be great. So let's jump in right away. And first, maybe let's give it some context about everybody of the speakers here. And I just see I think the first, Jon, do you want to go first? Maybe tell us a bit about Alente, your journey with Android. Where did you start? Where are you now? And what did you learn?
Yeah, I can start. I can kick it off. So
Good.
Alente is a Nordic pay-TV operator. We operate in Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. We have approximately a little bit above 1 million subscribers, offering DTH or satellite TV, IPTV, and pure OTT streaming. And it's quite fun that we do this 3 days in advance of IBC, because our AndroidTV journey actually started at IBC back in, I think it was 2015, where we first saw the very first Google presentation of Android TV when they were out selling it into the operators. We were kind of, we just came out of a little bit complex, difficult set-top box project. Maybe we should try this. So we brought it home, had a discussion with our board, and the board together with us decided to take on that Android TV journey back then. But that also came with a couple of challenges, because we were early movers on Android TV. We launched the first box early 2017 after 2 years of development. It came with quite a lot of, you can call it small bugs and minor stuff that kind of deteriorated the user experience a little bit. It was a little bit more advanced than our customers were used to, and there was a lot of things that we didn't think of that made the entire beginning of our Android TV journey more challenging than we anticipated. But as we grew together with the Android TV journey, grew together with the set-top box, together with the OS, got more comfortable with it. The box is actually one of our most highest performing boxes that we have had in recent history. And kind of only 1 year back, we launched our next generation Android TV box. Also there being early mover with the CBS or Common Broadcast Stack, which is also our first hybrid box. It serves both our satellite TV customers, our IPTV customers, and also OTT customers. It's a really, really neatly packaged box, high-performing box, super stable, and one of the biggest benefits that we have had so far on our Android TV journey is that time to market. Time to market was significantly shorter than what we were used to for set-top box development. It took us less than a year to complete the first box and get it out to the market, and then we have just spent the time improving the value for our customers after that. So it's been a little bit bumpy, but a very, very funny journey.
Interesting journey. We were just talking about your run these past days, because, dear audience, Yoon just finished a half marathon faster than he originally planned, and he still, look at him, he looks fresh.
Thank you.
Even after 8 years marathon of Android TV. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Yoon, for the time being. Melvin, from your side, same for you. Give us a bit of an overview of OSN, and then also of your Android TV journey.
Absolutely. Before I do that, so I haven't done a marathon today. My marathon run with Android has been 2 years. But let me start with understanding by explaining to you what OSN does. So OSN has been primarily a DTH operator for the last 25 years, serving Middle East and North Africa. Over the last 10 years, we've also evolved into a leading SWOT platform in the region. Now, the discussions are going to be around CBS, so I will talk about OSN TV. 2 years ago, we brought this forward to management and board and said, here you go, you have an option for innovation. OSN always led innovation in the region. For example, we were the first ones to bring push WOT to the region in 2010. We introduced PVR in 2012. We evolved PVR with T-WOT, transaction WOT, pay-per-view over the years. And then in 2020, we had the Android offering in front of the board. We kept 9 months in discussion between Android and RDK. Finally decided to go ahead with Android. I think it's the right decision back then. We're seeing the benefits now. Now, it wasn't an easy journey. I was advised and warned about CBS stack back then. because it was in its infancy, it was maturing, it wasn't ready as a product. But at the same time, I didn't want to get locked to an OEM and use an OEM stack. So I had to make the hard choice. We went ahead with CBS. It was a pilot project with Cinemedia CAS, our current CAS vendor, Amlogic as a partner. So between the three of us, and obviously completely supported by Tata Elxsi as our system integration partner, we turned this around, and we turned this around in 7 months. Now, if you guys know set-top box projects, these generally run from 12 to 18 months easily. Turning this around in 7 months is commendable. And I must say, it wasn't easy because a lot of our black box testing failed. Google was on it all the time. We had, at some point, had daily calls because we were pressurized for time. We wanted to be the first to launch the product in the market. And we launched it. And we called it the bridge box because it was satellite connectivity for all linear channels, 1,000 plus FTA channels. Plus, you had all of the on-demand content. You had all the apps. And we call it bridge box. It was blending between the digital and the satellite domains. And today we look back and say, job well done, because 7 months time, getting a box in market, stable, really doing really well. I think we made the right choice.
Perfect. Okay, I see it's a hot day in London today, and I see Milton sweating even more when you talk about CBS not being so stable in the beginning. But Milton, you will have your task in a second to speak. But first, I want to hear from Pedro, so we get the three operators first. You recently launched Android TV, so new to the club. Tell us a bit about Vodafone's TV footprint, and then also about your Android TV journey. Then we get to Milton.
Perfect. Yes, indeed, Andy. We launched recently Android TV. Actually, we started our Android journey at Vodafone some years ago. Our first touch point with Android was, as for many other players in the industry, building TV apps for smartphones, for tablets, and for Android TVs. Our first experience with Android TV set-top boxes was also some years ago an OTT unicast only box running Android TV operator tier in one of our markets in Central Europe, where we operate TV services. More recently, we took a strategic decision to go full-scale Android TV across our set-top box portfolio. We went directly to Android TV operator tier with our full Vodafone custom launcher. Given the nature of the Vodafone's network footprint in different countries, in some we have IPTV over FTTH. We have in others several flavors of cable, DVB-C, some cases mixed with OTT. And considering all that, considering our business needs, we are going from day one with support for hybrid. So that's what we really aimed at building. And it has been an exciting journey. Our first launch took place some months ago in a sunny country in Western Europe. We are running Android TV on a special set-top box that combines a traditional set-top box with a very attractive design, a premium speaker embedded in the same casing, and a far-field voice support, which is great for the Google Assistant. And we are quite happy with it. The product is performing quite well in terms of marketing traction, in terms of customer feedback. And this is only the first one in our partnership with our Google friends, and we are working towards replicating that success story in other countries in these and other Android TV devices. We are serving, as of today, in Europe, roughly 14 million TV customers in different platforms. So this is now our main addressable market with our Android TV set-top boxes. Like Yon said, for us, we were not early adopters, but we also had a bit of a bumpy journey here and there. We took some lessons. In our case, building a hybrid box on Android TV is not a walk in the park. Like I used to say many times, not all cable networks are born equal. So there are significant numbers of parameters, event information tables, descriptors defined by the DVB specs that can be used in many different ways, not just by us operators, but also by the owners of the networks and also by the broadcasters. And especially in Europe, those aspects are also depending on specific regulations. So in this particular area, the sweet spot for us operators and for more specifically for us in Vodafone is finding a stack that is that has sufficient flexibility to cope with all those variants without massive custom development. On that and in our journey, aspects like building a very strong knowledge base on Android TV. So if you start an Android TV project, always invest in building a good knowledge base there. So stick to the Android TV reference architecture as much as you can. This was another lesson we learned. If we try to replicate our platforms, bypassing the platform functionalities, we might end up in a swamp of complexity that will cost a lot to manage. And if we start from scratch, like we did, it's very important that we work with the right partners that bring Android TV expertise to our world.
Thank you, Pedro. So now let's give the word to Milton. You heard nice things, fantastic time to market, great promises, but a bumpy ride from time to time. You also come a long way, of course. You launched Android TV many, many years ago. There's a journey. Tell us about your journey. And well, yes, how do you take care as Google with this variety, most would say a zoo of complex configurations, which is surely not easy to handle? Tell us.
Sure. Thank you, Andy. So, before I start, I just wanted to say that, nothing beats like hearing from partners, especially the success stories and, the experience from partners. So it is kind of great to be here with all our partners. So I'm Milton from TV partner engineering team. I work with their ecosystem partners, enabling Google TV experience and Android TV operating system on partner devices. I also work on cross-partner initiatives, and converged is one such initiative. I've been driving it since its inception from the technology side. So with regard to converged, I just want to quickly touch upon the origin story. So the reason we started the initiative is because it was a kind of direct response from our most requested feature from operator partners. So, and instead of developing something from scratch, we decided to acquire a kind of proven broadcast tech, productized across different regions. And then we directly focused on kind of reducing the time to market for our partners. So which was one of the things that our partners wanted us to kind of solve for them. Of course, what Pedro said is terribly important. So we wanted to reduce the time to market with one unified solution. And that was not this constraint that, you want to do that with one unified solution. That was not easy. And we kind of deeply thought about all these variations, and as Pedro said, that there are different interpretations of the spec in different regions. And we tried to address it from the architectural side, but also from the kind of dev model and operational model. And we tried to do this actual work of reducing time to market by pre-integrating the solution with associated components. So we did that. We pre-integrate with the SOC vendors, and we talked to our partners, and our partners told us that for a hybrid device, one of the most challenging aspects is integrating with CAS solutions. So we refactored the whole architecture to be able to pre-integrate with CAS solutions. So that was not easy because it was a kind of a fine balance between standardized integration and flexibility. So now with the current architecture, you can have the broadcast tech pre-integrate with a CAS solution, but the CAS vendor can incorporate their differentiating capabilities within their vendor-specific wrappers. So hopefully, so with all of that, we have been able to kind of significantly reduce the integration time, and the work is not finished. We are still working on it. And along with that, we developed a bunch of features that all of those features were required by our partners for actual concrete projects. At the moment, we're also, along with everything else, we're also focusing on quality. That's kind of a very important thing that's ongoing across all the different Android OS components. So we are working with the actual framework team to figure out how we can optimize the performance, reduce zapping time, reduce resource consumption, and develop more test infrastructure. And that's ongoing. And hopefully that will kind of help the partner ecosystem. But before I kind of finish the intro, I just want to mention one thing, that we would be able to achieve all of this without the support and and collaboration of our partners like Alente and OSN, and the expertise of the system integrators like Tata Elxsi. So it was a collaborative effort. And even going forward, I want to kind of emphasize the fact that we're doing the CBS initiative to make it easy for our partners to integrate or develop a hybrid device, right? So it is a collective effort, and it'll be great if you can kind of work together to make it happen, to come up with a solution which is robust, high quality, and bug-free.
Bug-free. Okay, so now this is a challenge, Milton. Tell me, you said the time to market got better and better. Do you have a target? Where do you want to be ideally at one point?
Our main kind of, ideally, we want it to be similar to an OTT, integration effort. So we do not, when we started, we found out that it was easy for our partners to launch OTT devices, but it was taking longer to, launch hybrid devices. So with all of this pre-integration and the work that we have done with the architecture, we're hoping that we will get to a point where they will be at the same level. So you will be able to kind of launch a hybrid device as quickly as you would normally launch an OTT device.
Okay, perfect. Good. Thank you, Milton. Tarun, you have been helping several operators to launch Android TV over the years in many geographies. Tell us about your role in such projects, please, and what are some of your learnings and key takeaways?
Thank you, Andy. Just first give me some what Tata Elxsi does. Okay, Tata Elxsi is a design engineering service company with one of the largest design studio in Asia. Okay, what we are doing in Tata Elxsi is, of course, there are different business verticals, and one of the vertical is the media and communication, where we work with the broadcaster and telcos across the globe. We work with our partners, the broadcasters and telcos, as either the engineering service partner or system integration partners. Typically, the typical our service includes the offering on the engineering services or the media, cloud, the network services offering. But as a part of our servicing, we also leverage some of the solutions developed by our teams, which eventually help our partner to extract and deliver the customer experience for their end customers. The solution, some of those solutions include the next generation of OTT platform, because we have seen how the OTT is getting traction, including the Android platforms. It's Android TV. The OTT aspect is very important part of the Android platform, right? With some of the other platform, which is content is the king, we all know. So content moderation and the curation, and also the quality. Milton talked about the quality. So QoE and the field device management platform, because once the Android TV kind of devices goes to the field, how you help to define the customer life cycle. Those platforms we develop and deploying to the partner and helping them to accelerate. Coming back to the Android TV, as Johannes mentioned, I still remember those old days where we are having more than a year of timeline for the any hybrid projects, with the announcement of operator tier when it happened in 2016. Still I remember that day, and we started almost the same time with a leading telco in India, the projects Android TV that time, and launch a hybrid platform. And now today we are having more than a few millions of devices deployed. And interestingly, the CBS, the early stack, right, what Milton mentioned, which was adopted and taken by the Google as a CBS. We started working on those platforms a bit early, even before CBS came to the picture, and it's given us the key advantage as a move forward over there. But with the CBS in Android TV, what we are seeing now, the project timelines are considerably getting shorter and shorter. We worked with the Melvin, and Melvin spoken about the very aggressive timeline, and very happy to be what we achieve in our OSN project. However, coming back to the ATV and CBS, the key aspect is how it is helping. It's overall how we see that it is helping CBS and Android TV, helping to democratize the broadcast media platform, right? Democratize the media and broadcast platform. How, if you see, one is the adoption of the open source technology, which is very important aspect. Always the open source partners can develop, customize, manage the solution as they want. It gives the software independence to the partners. We have seen that how the scaling can be done. The another key aspect is also the managing the upgrades, because as we all know that there are some security policies for that, and the managing the upgrades become easy over here. For hybrid, the media cache definition further helping, and it's really, and what we are doing together with the Google is contributing to the development along with them, some of the platforms, some of the solutions like for HBBTV and all. Eventually, you know, the key advantage, what we see, the flexibility to adopt the application, right, where we are having a field device management solution and understanding the challenges over there, and eventually taking what we get from the field, we can help and take the right proactive action, and eventually reduce the NPS, you know, and improve the NPS over there. Overall, we see that Android TV and CBS helping in defining the customer life cycle management, reducing the TCOs with all the key aspect of the democratization of the platform. So that is how we are seeing when we are working globally with our partners. And in summary,
thank you, Tarun. Thank you all for this overview. So many benefits of Android TV: time to market, pre-integration of the SVOD players, but sometimes you have to queue for a long time to get a slot, and stability, flexibility. That's great, but all the telcos on the planet are now struggling. We saw the story with Charter in the US just coming to an end apparently now. Making money is not easy. So let's talk about making money. And maybe Milton, I want you to start it off and say, what are the options that you offer as part of this Android TV solution for the operators to monetize better than just subscription fees?
Right. So, so from technical side, we're enabling the capabilities, for example, in CBS, and those capabilities are already there in Android TV for you to do something like client-side ad insertion. So we are developing those capabilities also from from CBS side. We are working on standardizing it, but it is already available. Those you can already integrate with client-side insertion on this on any Android TV device with or without CBS. That's already there. But along with the technical innovation, I just want to mention that our BD team from Google side, we're also helping our partners navigate the complex ad ecosystem, help our partners with business relationships, and all of those are also quite important from what we heard from our partners.
Okay, yeah. In the end, many people say the money is in live. If you want to do ad insertion, VOD and NPDR, that's easy. It's a bit more complex on the broadcast side. So great that you help there. But yeah, I want to hear from also the three operators here. Thank you, Milton. What are you doing in terms of advertising and monetization? What works? Where are the concerns and where's the complexity? I don't know, who wants to go first?
I can start.
Yeah, Pedro, go.
At Vodafone, we have our ad insertion projects. Actually, we have launched already that based on pre-rolls for VOD, for catch-up, and for recordings. For linear TV, yes, this is a huge opportunity as well that we are willing to grab. But let me address the topic from a broader perspective. From my perspective and for us operators, I think the main challenges are not so much technology related. One way or the other, the technology is there. It provides options for doing ad insertion, covering, I would say, all different business needs and tastes and technical preferences. The main challenge we see in the industry is finding the right space and the right business model for operators to get into a business that has been managed for decades and to a large extent by advertisers, by advertising agencies, and by broadcasters. So we as operators, we definitely have something very valuable to offer there. We know our customers in many aspects. We have direct access to the customers' living rooms, let's say. And well, that's not a small thing. However, embracing that requires a whole paradigm change in the TV advertising industry, opening space for a new stakeholder that brings a lot of knowledge about the customer, the operator, and to allow that new stakeholder to get, let's say, part of the pie requires, let's say, all the stakeholders to acknowledge that there's a higher revenue potential for them if the whole model flies in a sustainable fashion. So there are some successful stories, especially in the North American market in this direction. In more regulated markets like the European ones, we still see a lot of work to be done. And I think we, as an industry in general, we didn't reach yet this tipping point where the value that operators bring can really bring these ad insertion projects to another level and with more traction. Okay. But this is what we are looking forward and working in this direction.
Indeed, there is some discussions to be held. How's it going for you, Yoon, in the Nordics?
I think as Pedro says, the technology is there. We launched our first dynamic ad insertion channel back in 2018, I think. There are some technicalities or some complexities in it that requires a little bit more attention than if it's just a normal live TV stream. But it's manageable and it continues to also improve over time. So it's much easier now. Currently, we have quite some channels with the dynamic ad insertion. We do it not only for live TV, but also for the catch-up recordings. And we have done some experiment with the VOD as well, just to see how it works and how it can help us monetize our content. But as Pedro is pointing to, the challenge isn't really the technology and what Android TV and CBS are enabling us to do. The challenge is more how the market is actually working and maybe we have been looking at it from the wrong perspective.
What do you mean?
That we kind of are thinking that, hey, we have all this nice, lovely technology. Let's make the most out of it. Let's make some money on the technology, and then we think that yes, by delivering the technology, we would automatically get some share of the ad market, which is currently, at least in the region Allente is operating in, is owned by the broadcasters, and that's not the way it's going to work. The broadcasters won't give away their revenues just because we are delivering some technologies. We need to kind of approach it for, I think so. I think that they will just say, hey, yes, we'll take that technology, and then maybe it can help us increase our revenues. So I think the approach we might need to take is more as Pedro also says, we know the customers, we have the data. That is what we can sell back to the market together with the technology. In that sense, we can, together with the broadcasters, actually increase the total value of the ad breaks compared to just delivering some kind of technology.
And then you, of course, get a fair share of that. Of course. Yeah.
Of course.
First-party data is the magic word here, right? So you know your customers, the broadcasters don't know them as well as you do. And if you bundle with broadband, mobile, and others, then it's even more valuable. How is that for OSN, Melvin?
Yeah, so similar approach, similar view. We are also a heavily data-driven company. At the moment, we are evaluating, we're doing a POC on linear channel ad insertion in the CBS stack, along with Tata Elxsi and Google. The way we want to see this is we have a customer 360 view. We understand our customers very, very well. We also understand that the region is as you see with more and more OTT and more TV, people are consuming more, which means people spend 4 to 6 hours a day watching content in some form or the other. Android Box gives us all of that information, all the data, to help us make better decisions. So we see that advertising is going to be here. More and more, we see more and more towards personalized advertising rather than segment-based advertising. We see we have the data to do this. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of adding. So I see consumers as 3 types. People who buy a subscription and are completely content with it. Then you have the second type of subscription who want to buy a subscription, but they're not content. They want more. This is where the fast channels will come in. And then you have subscribers who do not want to pay for the service, but they are happy to watch ads. I think with monetization, with fast, with more and more advertising, we're going to serve all of these three customer types based on purely data. And as broadcasters or as leading pay TV in the region, we have that capabilities, and we have the technology, we have the data, and I think there's a massive demand on advertising also in the space. So it's a win-win for all, as the way I see it.
Perfect. Thank you, Melvin. And Tarun, you help some of the operators, OSN specifically here was mentioned, in that journey as well. But I think you also have some products and services that you offer above and beyond. What can you tell us about that?
Any monetization always been a key aspect because it's directly what revenue a telco and broadcaster get, right? And everyone try to see how they can maximize over there. And whether it's a WAT from pre-roll, mid-roll, as Jonas mentioned about for the WAT system, but what's beyond actually. And we are, as you rightly mentioned, we are helping our partners with a different new monetization option. Not only the addressable TV, what we are doing today, but also how the shoppable TV, how the ads on a live, which is the key, because how it's what we are doing today as some of the specific innovation, what we are doing today, doing the ad insertion or ad generation based on the AI and the design aspect, right? Because how AI can bring what is considered that you have a soccer match going on, and you have a Nike logo, and then you will have a specific shoppable aspects coming based on a Nike, and that is where we are working to maximize and generate the revenue. But the technology is as Jonas mentioned or Petro mentioned is not the key aspect, right? Discussing with our partners globally, what we see the key challenge is with respect to the maximizing the revenue, how you can maximize the revenue for the inventory, what you have available, how you can do the right fill rates, you can have the right maximize the CPMs for that inventory. Those are the key aspects. Eventually, to address that, yes, one has to have the right mix of programmatic ads and the direct ad, and so that you can maximize your revenue over there. But not that it is very important to have the ad operations also supported by that, because ad operation is a very key aspects of the monetization when you are doing the ad management over there. And what we are doing to maximize and help our partner on the revenue, because this is very key aspect where you have to sell the inventory, right? And to maximize your monetization. What we are doing, we have worked with some of the leading global partners for that, and you will hear the announcement soon during the IBC, which we are going to announce, and definitely we are very confident that it can help. We are training more and more our engineers on ad operations so that we can rightly support our partner. We are working very closely on addressable TV, right, with Google. So overall, what Google has given the platform, it is really helping on maximizing the monetization.
Thank you, Tarun.
If I can just add to that, Andy,
Please.
because I think some quite interesting points here is being made, and also just give some kudos to Google, because no one of us have mentioned that we actually highly appreciate that Google is making this technology accessible for us through the Android TV and the CBS solution. We are talking about the technology is mature and it's kind of easy to integrate with, but the technology in the bottom here is highly advanced, and that is highly appreciated for us as an operator. But I think AI and was also mentioned as part of this, and that is a little bit interesting topic, because what we are a little bit discussing now is business development and how we can leverage data and how we can leverage other things to create new revenue streams or improve current revenue streams. AI can be used also to kind of make the advertising more contextual. So for the example, if you have a football match and you see a Nike logo, you don't want to interrupt the consumer while they are watching and it's about to be a goal or a super exciting moment in the game, but you want to wait until it's a little bit break in the game, and then you want to provide the advertising. So kind of can create also a much better advertising experience for the consumer, but also for the brands that buys the ad place. You can create a more valuable and more contextual space by leveraging AI or machine learning in that context.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Milton, anything?
I have a point.
Sure, Tarun, go.
Yeah, thank you. So, Jonas, let's discuss what we can do on this space, because that's very specific what we are working, and let's catch up during the IBC on.
Absolutely.
Milton.
First meeting for IBC booked.
Yeah, the first that was triple booked, probably.
Yes.
Milton, on your side, are there any specific AI features you can point out that are coming with regards to advertising, and anything to add from your side on what has been said so far for monetization?
Right. I mean, so I completely agree with all the things that have been said in this meeting and in the session. So in terms of the AI is of course a lot of it is kind of bringing with it a lot of promises. I do not have anything specific to kind of mention now, but a lot of the different teams in Google are working on figuring out how we can help our partners with AI-based solution. There are lots of tools already available from Google Cloud. So you can already use those tools and those capabilities when you're developing solutions. But beyond that, of course, it's one of those fields which is kind of progressing at a breakneck speed, right? Things are changing every month. So, stay tuned and all of us will learn a lot. I mean, I think we'll hear a lot from this specific domain. A lot of things will come from this specific domain.
Absolutely. I know we could probably continue for another hour or so, but we don't have that much time left. And I want to also get to some of the questions here. So let me read the first one here, and maybe that's back to you, Milton, and new features. What new key promising features are operators looking forward in Android TV? So what do they expect and what is coming? I hope that's the answer is the same.
So of course, that from Android TV side, it is based on the kind of base Android OS. So we will be kind of launching Android 14 very soon. So that's coming, and along with that, a ton of features are coming to the Android world, Android TV world as well. From common broadcast stack side, we have been developing a lot of the features, and our roadmap is completely kind of shaped by partner requests, right? So for concrete projects. So at the moment, we're kind of almost finishing the development of CAS re-encryption, which is something that you would need for in a broadcast tag in specific situations. So we will, make that feature available. And of course, the CSA is also something that we are piloting with two of our partners, and that will be, we are stabilizing those features as well.
Okay, good. Another question here that's for Pedro. As much you mentioned some of the complexity about DVB-C networks configuration. So here would a question: what are some of the typical network operator issues that increase the complexity in an Android TV rollout at Vodafone? Is it just the number of countries and different configurations, or is there something else?
Well, the number of different configurations in different countries definitely plays a major role in this complexity, and this is something that with the Android TV projects we are streamlining. We are bringing a lot of different configurations closer together under the same baseline across our markets, and that radically simplifies our approach to the product, and in the end we end up delivering more value to our customers, because the greater simplicity also brings better stability and better overall quality, especially on the software side. This is one particular aspect. In our case, it's the main the nature of our networks, the nature of our complex ecosystem in some aspects. It contributes to this, which we are willing and we are addressing as part of this strategic move to Android TV.
Mm-hmm.
We are not using yet the common broadcast stack. This is something we are continually looking into to see how it evolves. Something that could significantly help us, operators in general, in terms of dealing with the complexity of the hybrid networks and the hybrid set-top boxes, would be getting what the CBS already comprises in the architecture, the possibility of defining add-ons, extensions that we can implement, that our partners can also implement. So building a community companies, operators, and partners that develop some extensions, some features that are needed to cope with the complexity. And those contributions can be sent back to Google for a community to use. This is a very interesting, appealing idea that I understood is part of the CBS concept. Now, the killer question here is who starts first, who takes the first step, and what incentives can be created for such a community to be more and more active. So this is something that we see as a potential way of helping us operators dealing with complexity that we are very much willing to follow up in the near future.
Good question, Pedro. So Milton, what are the incentives? Why should operators contribute back to all the others, potentially to also their competitors?
Right, Pedro, that's a great question, and you're absolutely right. I completely concur with you that to be able to take advantage of this kind of broadcast tech, we want to be able to contribute back. So first, so what are the incentives? The first incentive is that even if you're developing, so there are three different types of, I do not want to spend too much time, but it depends on what you want to do. If you want to develop something completely private, you can do that as an extension. You can develop the extension. But even in that case, you can, if it is completely private, by definition, you do not want to share it with others. Even in that case, it can be useful because that extension is completely device agnostic, right? So you can apply that extension to any device. But with other types of development models, you can create extensions which can be incorporated in broadcast tech. That's already happening. We got contributions from operators like SFR. They contributed back to CBS, and we can make those features configurable, right? So you can kind of configure them to be available or not. But even in the third case, let's say some third-party partner, they want to develop a differentiating feature. Even that is possible with the help of a well-defined interface, so that that partner can provide the differentiating feature to different operators and using CBS. But then again, it's just going to be huge. There'll be a huge applicability. In general, my main kind of motivation is that it is broadcast tech is at this stage where you are not developing user-facing differentiating applications in the middleware, right, anymore. You're doing it at the application layer. So we all want the middleware layer, the broadcast tech, to be kind of solid, robust, and and optimized. And just like for these things, just like we kind of work together to make our operating system like Android, optimized, or Linux, like collectively we work together to make it optimized. I'm kind of foreseeing that we will have a similar thing with broadcast CBS, where collectively we will make sure that it is kind of completely robust, that if someone else fixes a bug, then it will help the whole ecosystem. So Pedro, in short, I completely agree with that. We already have a few initiatives around making this collective approach possible, but we'll reach out to you as well, and let's discuss how we can make it better.
Great, looking forward. Thank you very much, Milton.
Perfect. Thank you, Milton. Interesting question here. I mentioned it. Alente is one of the first who have launched Google TV, so even more pre-integrated and some nice benefits. I mean, there's always two-sided coins. But so maybe for you first, but also then to Melvin and Pedro, what do you think about Google TV? Is that the natural evolution and next step, or is it something that will run in parallel? How do you see that?
For our part, it's something that's going to run in parallel. It's two very different ecosystems from our perspective. In Android TV, we control most of the experience the consumer we deliver to consumers, while in Google TV, the most of the experience is controlled by Google, and we only deliver an Android TV application that is pre-installed on the device that we are selling with Google TV on. So it's definitely something that will live in parallel.
Melvin, Pedro,
I would agree to that. In fact, I would add a curveball to Google here. Google TV, Android TV, great. What about a Google Glass or an operator TV model? Where do we see CBS, where a set of boxes built into the TV? You have all the bells and whistles as an operator to launch an operator-based Google stack. Sorry, Matthias, to put you in a spot, but this is something that has been lingering in my head for some time. Do we see that Google is going to take the approach and go towards a Google Glass view? Help the operators to build their own TV?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the question. I mean, there's definitely an interesting thing. We are thinking about it. Thank you for the feedback. So we do not yet have anything concrete, to be completely frank, but we will be thinking about it. And I just want to, mention to reiterate Jan's point. Google TV is not like it's like from what we see, it's complementary to Android TV for the operator ecosystem, right? So you're just expanding your customer base at this point where Google TV is catering to different needs from Android TV. But saying that, please provide us more feedback. We will be, we will be kind of looking into it. We are already thinking about different possibilities. So stay tuned on that as well.
In my case, my view is very similar to Jan's and Melvin's. Google TV and Android TV, they are separate tracks, parallel streams, if you want, for the same reason. So with Android TV, we have the great flexibility we need to shape the whole customer experience according to what we want to provide to our customers. Google TV, it has its own space, but it's something that's not giving us operators the flexibility we need.
Great, gentlemen. We'll have to continue this talk at IBC in Amsterdam, at the Canal, or in the halls. Great discussion, but we're reaching the end, and I want to say thank you. And I know, Espen, you have some tough management discussions still to do today. After the marathon is before the marathon. There we go. Fantastic to have had you here. Great learnings, great insights, very open discussion. Really liked it. Dear audience, I hope you also enjoyed it. If you want to rewatch it, you get the recording via email in a few days. Well, not the recording, the link to it. And then see you all at IBC. Safe travel. Hope Schiphol will hold this time. Fingers crossed. Thank you, everybody. Great.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great evening, afternoon,
Bye-bye.
morning, where you are.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.